And we're live.
All right, boys, we're back with another episode of the League Pod. No Noah as of now, not sure where the big man is, but hopefully he either jumps in or we get him back next week. We're going to be talking about rankings, looking ahead at playoffs, little matchup of the week. Probably not as long as it's been. Let's dive into it. Justin, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. And like you said, where is Noah? Just like his
I
team.
don't know.
We don't know where
This
his
is
team is
not.
either.
This is oof. Shots fired, Noah. It's happening, but it's not the same without you, dude. Get back on here. Okay, so we have some shake-ups on the rankings, especially at the top six. The bottom six are actually exactly the same. We have one
Wow.
change. So bottom three are Mark, Josh, Kobayashi, and then Justin Thompson are 12, 11, and 10.
Okay.
Nothing big to say. Josh traded away Devontae Adams. We'll get to that. Other than that, Mark,
You got to win.
Josh Dan got a win and got a pick for Chubb. Got Clyde Edwards-Helaire to kind of limp him through consolation. So there's that. But yeah, he's got J.D. McKissick to play this week, and Mark's playing Jacob. That's going to be devastating. Josh plays Ken. He could sneak a win there, and then Justin drew you. So it's a battle of the Justins.
Yes.
Justin Kobayashi doesn't have CMC. Still going to be a push.
So bummed
So
about
that's the
that.
bottom three. Next three, unless you have anything else to say about those guys.
Nope. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see I think the battle for last place could come from these three. So
Yeah.
don't be last, guys. I mean, as much as would love to rename your team, you do not want.
I can't wait to punish the last place team. Next three: Josh Kestner at 9, myself at 8, Ken at 7. So those are switched. Me and Ken switched places.
Huh.
Ken got the win this week, and we're actually tied in points, but he beat me head to head. So he's got the better record, but a roster that's just falling apart, and that's not really his fault. And injuries have struck in the worst way.
Yeah.
Zeke almost didn't play this week. David Montgomery got hurt. Gaskin got hurt, and he's out. Just crumbling what was a promising start to the season. Anything you want to say about Josh Kestner's team?
Yeah, I really liked I thought the Curtis Samuel pickup was great. I mean, he got him a week early before. I'm sure now he's like a super hot pickup. I mean, I am I guess the resident Panthers fan, so
Yeah.
having one, which I don't know, like that game was awesome. Like that was a really entertaining game between the Panthers.
The Chiefs.
The Panthers, they put it all out there. I mean, they were super
Yeah,
aggressive,
Rule really tried.
onside kicks, fake punts. I mean, they're just giving it everything. And Curtis Samuel, like he's been great. Like you can tell that when McCaffrey, like when they're not going to McCaffrey and they're looking for a play, they're going to Curtis Samuel. So I mean, I don't know if this is going to continue, but it's looked really good so far, and it definitely looks like Joe Brady and the offensive staff have kind of. I think it seems like they've kind of figured out how to use him. So that'll be really interesting to see. So I thought that was a great pickup and looks fantastic now after a 22-point week. He gets Miles Sanders back, so that's that could I don't think this team is at all in threat of being last, and I don't think it's not technically out of the playoffs, but could be tough. But it's going to be a tough out every week, so um, I don't really understand. The Kelsey deal was interesting. As much as I love the Kelsey deal,
Yeah, I don't understand the Kelsey deal as he collects Kelsey. Lamar Jackson is a QB2. Nothing has shown us that he's anything more than that. Insane. Good for you, Justin, to get that trade. Speaking of trades, Kestner pulls off one of the best combo trades where he trades for Singletary, then trades him back to Jacob for extra pick. That was phenomenal. So I love that. And he Jacob has now traded for Singletary twice,
Wow,
which
I
is
didn't realize that. It's hilarious.
yeah. So that happened. It's almost as good as I literally traded Tony Pollard to a team in another league twice in the same season, and I'm loving that. So good job for you, Josh. But again, I know you get to keep Lamar as a seventh next year. Maybe he's hoping he bounces back, but I just don't see it. I heard that you were getting other offers, but you do you. Other than that, yeah, this team is, Cam/Lamar is going to be all right, filling in. Sanders, Gibson's fine 1-2. Boyd, Cup, Cooper, Crowder, take your pick. Samuel for the receivers and flex. Graham is a weak point, but I get selling Kelsey. I don't. It's not that. That's not what I'm saying. It's what you got back. It's confusion. I would have asked for at least some draft capital. Good for you, Justin, for pulling that off.
Didn't do
And 10 out of 10 for team name. That's all I got for Kelsey.
that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to put up over 100 to get him every week, and he's similar to my team where the ceiling isn't high, but the floor should be there. And if you don't show up, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Should be competitive in consolation if he doesn't make playoffs.
Yeah.
Ken's team we talked about is disintegrating. My team did exactly what it was supposed to this week. I got 95 points, even with one of my running backs getting hurt on the first play from scrimmage, posting a goose. So the floor is there. If you don't want to bring over 100, go home. Santos, go home this week. So
Kyler Murray has been playing out of his mind.
Kyler Murray is what Lamar should be.
Yes.
And this is what I was hoping for when I went and flipped Russell Wilson for him. Back-to-back 37-point weeks, Justin.
That's insane.
He hasn't scored under 20. What is this? 21. 23, 26, or 26, 32, 21, 23, 26, 28, 37, 37. He's a monster, and I get to keep him next year as a seventh.
I considered trading for him at the beginning of the season. Before the season started, I was thinking, man, maybe I should swap Lamar for Kyler Murray.
You probably could have gone Lamar for Kyler plus.
Yes, exactly. That's the reason why I was thinking that.
Out of it.
And I also in the back of my mind, I was like, I was scared because I felt like there was a ceiling to Lamar, and that little voice was right. I just didn't listen to it.
That's correct.
I didn't listen to
it. You got Kelsey out of him, so you milked him for all he's worth. Well done. Williams is a solid contributor. Deontay, I'm excited about Landry. You got dart throws on the bench. Rager, Kelly. Hopefully Eckler comes back soon. He should be back definitely well in time for playoffs, and that was the idea. And Chargers matchup for running backs is fantastic, so I'm looking forward to consolation, if not playoffs.
Yeah, which you still have a chance. You still very much.
I'm one game back.
One game back.
And like I said, I could surprise the Santos team here, who might be without his two RBs, or at least one of them. And there we are. But I'm very excited about the decisions I made, and the players I traded away for all of my picks scored a resounding 17 points total last week.
Selling high.
Sell high, baby. Gotta sell high. So that's the bottom six. Next 3, 6, 5, 4 is Cody at 6, Jacob at 5, Sam at 4. Jacob and Sam are tied, but Sam's got Jacob at a head-to-head, so Sam's he's gonna squeak by at 4. Rosters are very similar. Cody's team, it looks like maybe I was wrong last week. I beat him, and that was purely because his team did not show up. I put up my safe floor. His team did not. Now, you and I, Justin and I talked off air about this. There's no reason Deshaun Watson should be on this bench.
No,
absolutely none. And if Deshaun Watson gets played, Cody takes a W with at least, I think it's 10 points to spare.
Though, in all fairness, I don't think we would have expected a 2-point game from Tom Brady. But still, Deshaun Watson has been excellent for the past, 6 weeks. 24, 24, 32, 24, 20.
Yeah.
Before, after Bill O'Brien gets fired. So he's been excellent. So to me, I would be playing Deshaun Watson over Tom Brady. Unless there's a really great matchup for Brady.
And the combo is going to work out great for Cody because Watson gets Chicago and Indianapolis to start his playoffs, which is not great.
Mm-hmm.
Brady gets Minnesota and Atlanta, so great matchups for Brady. Then to switch back, but it doesn't mean you just lock Brady in now. Like play the matchups, play the right play. This one I feel like was obvious. Again, I agree with you. Look, wasn't expecting a 2-pointer out of Brady, but definitely had the higher ceiling, higher floor on Watson this week with ease.
Yeah.
Thank you for not playing him. I needed that. So that's Cody Jacobs' team utterly smashed
This team is good.
his opponent, and he utterly smashed because his opponent had a couple like hasty, didn't expect a 3-pointer
Yeah.
there. Low floor from Josh, and Dalvin Cook continues to put up monster numbers. With Chubb and Hunt back this week, this roster is almost the most complete. Hurst is on bye, so he's going to have to rock with Cook for one more week. But other than that, he's rolling.
Yeah. I had him actually at 2, I think. This.
You do.
Yeah, and I think expected wins has him at 1. So, personally, and we'll get into it maybe a little bit more later, but yeah, the depth is a little bit. There's not as much depth behind the starting lineup, but the starting lineup is prime.
Absolutely. Sam is at 4, and he lost this week. And I need to preface, only his second loss on the year. And really, he got it was unfair. He upped the arms race and pulled Adams, who went toe to toe with Rodgers. And then you got McCaffrey back for 1 week, and that was the difference point. 32 points
Yep.
on McCaffrey, a solid showing from the rest.
He's so good. He's so
a solid showing from the rest of the team. And Sam puts up a great week, but it gets wiped out by your team, who's just obliterated him.
This is the second year in a row that me and Sam have faced off, and Sam has put up an excellent week, but just gets blown out. So last year was he faced me during the 200-point explosion.
Oh, jeez.
So sorry, Sam, but face me at it.
Sam, you did good. And while we're here with Sam, I want to talk about the trade he made. If you listened in last week, we mocked this trade. Similarly, I pretended to be Sam, Noah pretended to be Josh, and we hashed out a deal for the players he actually ended up getting in Davante Adams and David Johnson. Sam ended up going out and getting a better deal than the one I hashed. So good job, Sam. I'm proud of you. And this is the juice you need coming out of the bye, or coming out of this tough loss. He's got a matchup with Noah, which is going to be tough. But with Noah's roster also dealing with injuries, this is going to be Sam's lineup. Drew Brees against San Fran, solid. Duke Johnson against Cleveland's actually sneakily good because David Johnson's out. Either way, matchup's good. Josh Jacobs against Denver, good for 12. Robert Woods, Davante Adams, Travis Fulgham. I guess tight end is his weak spot.
Yeah.
As is the league. So good job, buddy. Looking forward to seeing you hopefully win. If you could hit Noah, it'd be great because I want to make playoffs.
That would be huge. Yeah, me too. And because the division race is all of a sudden wide open.
Wide open.
Oh yeah.
And again, that's more Noah's bad luck as well.
Yes.
Going to the top 3. Anything else on those 3, Justin?
I don't think so. I mean, I think Sam. So I think one of the hidden values of that deal was getting David Johnson. Now he's hurt now, but with Jonathan Taylor kind of has been a bit disappointing. That really solves a big RB2 hole for him.
Absolutely.
And to me, really, that means just tight end. That's the weak spot. And when you had Davante Adams, who's, in my opinion, if he's healthy the entire year, he is the wide receiver 1. And he has Tyreek Hill, who is the wide receiver 1 right now, which, goodness gracious, 18 targets last week. I mean, that's just insane. So, yeah, he's got the best wide receiver duo in the league. So when you have that.
With Robert Woods coming
yes.
back. Who's a floor guy.
Yeah, and you got Fulgham there too. So it's the best wide receiving core in the league. And with David Johnson coming in, that really cements this team is going to be just really hard to beat.
The and I love what you brought up about David Johnson. Let me read you his totals: 18, 6, 11, 10, 11, 13, 14, and then he got hurt.
He's
So
been solid.
while he's not blowing you out of the water, yeah, the floor 10 cannot be underestimated, or it is so valuable to know you're going to get 10 plus from a position. That's all you ask for. If you can get that nice floor, then have a boom guy like Adams, have a boom guy like Hill. You're looking at 120, 130, and it's hard to lose when you put up those kind of numbers. So I think Duke Johnson is going to be serviceable in respite. Put up 13 when David went down.
Yeah.
Um, so and Sam was able to scoop him off waivers. So well done, Sam. Good job managing. Number 3, we have the illustrious Noah drops 1. Justin, you go, or Santos is at 2. Justin, you are ranked number 1
Woo, baby.
for the first time all year.
Oh yeah,
We've
started
seen
from the bottom. Now we
three,
here.
so yeah, three round jumps in a row. At number 1, we'll get to you. To Noah, we mentioned it earlier. I'll let you actually go ahead and take off with Noah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just been unfortunate for him. I mean, he's just had a lot of players go down with injury, kind of all at the same time too, which is kind of unfortunate. It'll be interesting to see what the return of Michael Thomas does to Kamara, because before Kamara is like the only weapon for New Orleans, and so I don't know if I don't think it really does a ton to Kamara, but it could. It could cap his ceiling a little bit, and just he's been covering over a lot of the problems that this roster's had with the RB2 slot. Um, we'll see what AB can do. We don't really know. I mean, last week you really can't gather any information from that. But I think the wide receiver core is still good. So even though he's been kind of on the down a little bit, it's just kind of we'll see how long this down lasts. But I think the team is still good. It's just how quickly can his guys get back and healthy. Um, yeah, to me, that's just the big question: is how long is Noah going to be down? Because the team is still good, but it's just not healthy.
Yeah, Herbert is an auto start every week. Kamara, obviously, Diggs. And what's happening is what you alluded to. Ridley's on bye this week, so we wouldn't have had him either way. But really being hurt last week really hurts, because with the unknown of Godwin Brown, and then you lose Ridley, and your RB2 slot is already a problem, but you're having to flex an RB. Harris has looked like the lead back, but Cam Newton's the goal line, and Rex Burkhead is the passing guy, and also the 1 yard shortage due. Then White's getting snaps, so inconsistency. He was able to pick up Jonnu Smith, thank the Lord. Looks like he'll play Gesicki this week. That's not a bad idea. Still managing well, but the injury bug and kind of the bad luck of how the RB situation has turned out is hurting him, and that's why he's dropped here. Santos, I don't really have much to say about Santos. I sold him players that are inconsistent, and he knew that, and they stunk last week. But I'm calling it right now. Lockett puts up at least 20 against me, guaranteed. I guarantee it right now, Santos. Guarantee it right now. Lockett is going to smash this week because it's that time when everyone sits him. That's when he booms, and so that's this week. You've got him in there, smart man. Galladay is going to be probably out this week, but he can slide more up, and he has plenty of flex plays to go. Corey Davis, Christian Kirk, either of those guys should be played. Jamal Williams should be back too. So if Aaron Jones is hurt, it looks like he's going to be fine. He practiced in full, but that's backfield has figured itself out. And Hyde too is trailing up. So if Carson can't go, maybe he has the backup there. I'm hoping not. Hoping he's forced to play Jordan Howard again. That'd be great. But not much else. This is a great roster.
Yeah,
We know that already.
I think it's just impressive, just the amount of injuries he's gone through, and yet he's still putting up 110 plus. Absolutely. Almost every week. Absolutely. I do think it's gonna be difficult. I foresee it kind of being difficult in the future, just kind of figuring out who to play, like in his wide receiver core. There's not some clear cut options outside of maybe Lockett.
You
Um,
have to play Lockett.
so you
It's
just
just
have to
for
play him
sure.
every week and hope you get the boom
Yep,
weeks. The boom weeks come. Um,
they're worth it.
but well, so that's the only difficulty I see with this roster is just like who to play. That's not it's not exactly
I
clear cut.
think I think for me it's Galladay and Lockett when healthy,
Yeah,
and
I
then
would agree.
because you have Galladay's floor is great. Lockett can get you that. Lockett has the potential to be 203.
So I guess it's the flex that's the question
It's a
mark.
flex.
That's the question mark
Yeah,
because I like between Kirk Moore. I think I would.
Mostert. Mostert, I think, is what you
Yeah,
want.
the most is what you want, which he should be back in 2 weeks maybe because they have a
Yeah,
bye.
yeah.
So that if once he comes back, I think this it becomes a lot easier. But for now, it's going to be a bit of a challenge.
Play the wrong people this week, Santos. Justin gets lucky. McCaffrey's out this week. Might not be out for long.
Hopefully.
But he's playing against a Justin Thompson team who's down Mahomes, so it's like it's easy
Yeah,
too.
because I think this
Um,
team was Ben Mahomes.
yeah, so uh, you're gonna win this matchup. Less about that, more about how disgusting your depth is that you can freaking bench the Cincinnati Bengals backfield this week and be fine. Is annoying. As you should because they're playing
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
it's gonna
Although
be
lately
ugly.
we've let people run on us, so maybe it's not a good idea. I don't know. Either way, I think you'll be fine whoever you play. Also, down Kelsey for the bye doesn't matter because still gonna smash. So, this is the best roster in the league. Rodgers is a QB1, top five potential. Great matchup this week. Davis is fine RB2, but he shouldn't be there. McCaffrey fills in. He's a top five running back. James Robinson's a top five running back. Mixon's a top 10 running back. Keenan Allen, Hopkins, Robbie Anderson, T. Higgins all should be started. You can only start two.
Well, three.
And then you have the best. Well, I guess this week three because you're not starting Mixon. And Travis Kelsey's the best tight end in football. So even if you get zeros from your special teams, you're my favorite to win it all. I'm hoping Justin does though because it would preserve, or not Justin, Jacob. That would preserve new managers winning. I love you, Justin, but I want Jacob to win. But this
No,
is the best
that's fine.
roster, and you've put it together really well. You thought out your trades. You had long term waiver pickups. Higgins, when you grabbed Higgins, he was my number one waiver at a want that week over Justin Jefferson. Um, and you got him, and he's going to be a great keeper too. He's been under 10 twice since starting. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
he's
Since
been
May.
impressive. Um,
Allen's been amazing because Herbert has been amazing. Hopkins has had a down low, but he's like Lockett. You have to start him because
yeah,
the 14 target, 151-yard game is always there. The potential is always there, and when you have the safe floor of the rest of your team, totally worth playing
yeah.
Hopkins.
Your team is good when Hopkins is your lowest scorer on a week, only puts up 4.5, and you still score 155.
155. Yeah, so dumb.
But I mean, it's
You should, you should be playing against James Robinson this week, Justin. You should not have him. You should be playing against him.
he's been great.
Anyway,
He's the RB6
he's fantastic.
right
He's
now.
been fantastic. I traded him away for peanuts because I didn't know what he was going to be. And then you got him for peanuts after we knew what he was going to be. This is so dumb. But anyway, so that's the rankings. So Justin takes the number one spot, well deserved. Um, the division matchups are soon. They start next week, and that's going to be exciting. You play me next week, and
I think I have a terrible record against you, so maybe I can finally get some wins here.
uh, yeah, yeah, a career record I've got you pretty handled, but you're gonna smash me because you have no buys, and
Yes.
hopefully I have Eckler back. Against the Jets, please, Jesus. Or I'll take Justin Jackson back. Either one of them. So probably gonna beat me. You're gonna definitely beat Kestner, and then it'll be a nice matchup. You'll be at 8-4 going up against Noah with a lock of playoffs. Maybe you get the number one seed. You will be down the CMC, so that should be a good game
Yeah,
because that's
that'll be a
the
good match. That'll probably be it
wild
for
card
the
spot.
division, honestly. is that
Probably.
week. That's probably what it'll
He'll be
be.
missing Godwin and Brown too, so that'll be good.
Because Noah can
He
afford to
should.
be down a game because if he ties with me, I think he would win that.
Yeah,
Because he beat
as
me the
long as he
first
keeps
time
points up.
around, and he has the better divisional record currently.
Currently, yeah, and he should clean up against me and Josh as well.
So
Okay, so that's rankings. Let's talk playoff picture. So we just alluded to it. I think that you're going to be definitely in playoffs. As it stands right now, Sam's got the number 1 seed. Noah's got 2. Santos slides in at 3. Jacob's at 4. You're at 5. Cody's at 6. I don't see these teams changing.
I don't the way I kind of drew it up. So I don't see. I think it's just going to be the same 16s we just named who probably make the playoffs. Now I think the order may change. Really, I think so. I think Sam is a lock for the number 1 seed. I think he wins the division. He's got 2 of the worst teams in the league on his
Yeah.
rest of the season, so I think he locks up number 1 seed, and he's already game up. So I think he's a lock for the number 1 seed. I think for number 2, it gets interesting. I think the number 2 seed is likely to come down to whoever wins.
Our division.
I think it's going to be whoever wins the Division 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that would be because I think our division is still probably like our division's I think is just more well rounded. Like I can still see myself losing to you or like Josh. Like I think both of your teams are good enough where they can put up, a good. I honestly I think there's just more potential there that you could either of you two could upset me or Noah. So I don't think the number 2 seed comes out of our division, which leads me to believe that the number 2 seed comes out of Santos, Jacob, Cannon, Justin Thompson's division. So I think I have. So I think whoever wins, I think that Week 12 match between Jacob and Santos becomes crucial because I think whoever wins that could end up with the number 2 seed. Which right now,
Well,
oh, good.
I'm gonna let the viewers in on a little peel back the curtain, as I like to do. So it's gonna be fun going in divisional matchups. You need to watch my game against Noah in week 13 or in week 12, and you have to watch Mark Cockrell's game. And you're wondering why Mark Cockrell's game? He's gonna get smashed by Sam. Less important. More important. Noah and I have a prop bet that we made in week 2 that will come to fruition in week 12. I'm not gonna say what the prop bet is, but I'll probably bring it up that week when we do the pod. But just to keep you guys listening, I will. Playoff implications be darned. I am very excited to see how that plans out. I'm gonna lose. It's like it's already done. Like the prop bet's already said. I need a miracle, but you'll find out what it is. I like your thinking on the 2 seed. I could see Santos or Jacob pulling that out because other than themselves, they're gonna smash the rest of the division.
Yeah.
So it might come down to that matchup when they play each other because they are tied right now. I think Santos had got the first win. Yes, he did. So Santos has the edge, and he has the points for edge. But Jacob's coming on hot, so we'll see.
Yeah,
Either way, I
Jacob
think
to
all
me
those
is
teams
has
make.
is like his team is hotter right now. So
So let me say, Justin, as the team that I think has the best roster, who are you most afraid of seeing first round of playoffs?
oh, that is a great question. I honestly think it's Jacob's team. I to me this team scares me the most. I think a close second would be Sam's.
And they're neck and neck.
And yeah, they're just. I mean, I don't because you're going up against the duo of Russell Wilson and Dalvin Cook, or you're going against Devontae and Tyreek, and those duos are just scary.
Well, Russell Wilson, Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, and Kareem Hunt are all in that roster
That's true.
now. And Josh or Sam has some of the safest floor players in the league with Woods. Jacobs is going to get you 10 plus. Woods,
And
like
he has boom
these,
potential.
and he could go. He could go off. Yeah, I'm with you. I think as it stands now, Sam's is the one that scares me the most because I think his floor is the safest. Even though I think Jacob maybe has a higher ceiling because Cook it's just unstoppable. But so is Devontae Adams. So
Yeah.
I know, but I'm with you. It would be one of those two guys. I just would be terrified. You don't want to make it and get bounced. Two people do, and so definitely going to be watching your matchup if you don't get a first round bye. The sad part is only one of them, or no, I guess they could both get the first round bye. Farquad and
Well, Sam would have to
Jacob.
lose some games.
Well, no, Sam is good. Jacob is in the other division.
Well, I guess, are you talking about both? You said both of
Sam
them
and
getting
Jacob, maybe.
buys?
Yeah, Sam and Jacob could get a first round bye.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I thought you said Jacob and Santos. Sorry.
Oh no. Yeah, sorry. I think I started with that. Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, Sam and Jacob
I'm with
totally could.
you.
And that's honestly so what I've written down that the way I have it predicted, I think Sam gets number 1. I think Jacob gets number 2, Santos at number 3, myself at 4, Noah at 5, Cody at 6. That's mine.
So you'd play Noah round 1 in this situation.
Yes.
Woof.
Yep.
And that would be a back-to-back week matchup for you.
Yes. Woof.
Fun. A 13 and a 14 week matchup.
But I would get CMC back, hopefully.
Yeah, it's true. Very true. All right, cool. I'm totally down for that. What do you got for me for the game of the week this week?
Game of the week. Let's look at these week's games. Sam faces Noah. I think that's definitely in the running. I think I would probably have to go with that. I think Sam versus Noah, Lord Farquaad, and Herbie fully loaded.
It's either Sam. Pick this game. Who wins?
Lord Farquaad and Herbie fully loaded. Yeah. I gotta go Sam. His team's healthier, and I think he's got the better. I mean, Devontae gets Jacksonville. Woods has Seattle.
Oh.
That's jeez. I think I heard a statistic that Seattle's defense is on track to give up like 1,000 more yards than the record for those passing. It's something insane. Like the defense
is astronomically bad.
It's so bad.
It's laughably bad.
Oh man,
bad. It's really bad. Yeah, I think I picked Sam, but slightly on an edge. I don't think Breeze is going to have a game at all.
Yeah.
And I think Jordan Reed's going to have a catch for nothing. And I think Tennessee is not going to let the Colts have a big defensive day. And it's going to come down to those little things. I think Moss is going to be good for 10. Fournette's probably going to be good for 10. And all the other boom players are there. Diggs can go off. Kamara can go off. Herbert's going to go off. We just saw what Kyler Murray did to Miami. Herbert won't do 37.
Miami's got a good defense though, but yeah.
They can get got. That's all I'm saying, fantasy wise.
It was Kyler Murray. There's nothing stopping him at this point.
Okay, but even so, like I can see Herbert going 28. This easy. Like no picks, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And they could lose. The Chargers could lose that game.
Oh yeah.
And
they've been losing every game.
Yeah, but he could still go off. Herbert's been look phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's definitely either that one or it's secretly my game is the game of the week. Let me explain. Let me break it down. If I win,
that's true.
If I win, Jacob's going to crush Mark. So if I win, Santos goes a game back in his division.
Yeah.
I gain a game on him with the tiebreaker, and I have the tiebreaker on Cody, who I beat last week.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, I just need one of them to lose one more time and for me to win out. What's in the realm of possibility?
Yep.
It could happen. So, really hoping I win this game. Carson not playing would be huge. Because he literally would have to play Jordan Howard, who he's hoping he just falls in the end zone.
Yes.
And Jerick McKinnon for me was a nice pickup. I don't think he's going to go boom, but I think he's going to get 20 touches, which might just be enough for 10, 15 points. And my floor will be there. So
get Landry back.
Landry's going to be it. So I'm just kind of terrified. I think either Landry or Hooper are going to have a big game. And I don't know which one it is. And I am loading the deck, and hopefully Fant has a good game and cancels out if Hooper does too.
Yeah.
Or if Fant tells me he can't play, then I got Hooper as the backup.
But. Yeah. Another kind of under the radar game is going to be Cody and Kessner. Um,
Yeah, Cody's down Gurley.
Cody's down Gurley. Cody
He's
cannot
picked.
afford to lose.
No, he cannot.
His margins are just
I
crazy.
have the tiebreaker, buddy.
And I mean, because Ken's sitting there too. Like Ken could
Yep,
just. I mean, Ken gets Josh, which Josh's squad is
should be a win.
should be a win. But I mean, Josh could surprise. But to me, I think Kessner very much could get a win because I mean he could get
Well,
Sanders back, and if you get Sanders back, this team looks quite a bit different. Um, Cooper Cup is going against Seattle.
yeah,
Uh,
Cup's gonna go big. If Gibson plays, he should go big.
yeah,
I think part of the problem of his shorter game last week was he got hurt in it. But if he's fine, you're good to go. Lindsey has been a fine bit player too. If you have to cycle him in,
yeah.
at RB. No, it should be a good game. I agree. A lot of playoff implications for sure.
That's where things get interesting.
Oh
All the
yeah.
permutations.
So yeah, well there you go. Those are the rankings. We've picked them. We've looked at the playoffs. Looking forward to this week's games. You got anything else for us, Justin?
Nope. Could be win number 5 this week for me.
That'd be awesome.
Oh
In a
my
row.
goodness! What a
In a
year!
row.
What a year!
Justin has won 4 out of the last 5, guys. That's insane.
I started 0-3. I just can't. I'm just and I could there's a chance I think that I lead the league in scoring again this year, which I think that's pretty impressive.
If we can get you winning those early matchups, buddy,
Yeah,
that'd be
just
great.
that's just my I there's one thing I cannot do. I struggle with the draft, but once we get into the season,
Good managing.
that's where
That's
it
what it
comes
boils
in.
down to.
I'm slow but
Good
steady. We
managing.
get there. This year we're
And
just a
guys,
little earlier.
this is a public service announcement for all of you guys. Justin Thompson, I'm looking at you, who had a bad luck at the early game. Your number 1 pick gets hurt. Don't give up. Don't give up. You can work your way through it. Justin has, and now he has the best roster in the league. All right. Well, I think that's it. This is a good one. Cool,
See
man.
y'all next week.
Peace.